Kylie Jenner has been called out for her unprofessionalism. What's new? We've known this for the longest time, and she certainly was not a self-made billionaire. She likes to cry about it online, she likes to complain. At the end of the day, when Forbes wrote their exposing article, which proved that Kylie Jenner was not in fact a billionaire, she was only half a billionaire, boy did Kylie and Kris Jenner flip their shit. The whole family went up in flames. They were not happy. Now, Kylie Jenner was recently called out in a podcast made by Deux Moi, where a source had told them who the most professional sisters were to work with and who was the most unprofessional. Now, Kim, Khloe, and Kourtney, as we all know, literally had to work their asses off to get to where they are now. Kylie Jenner was born into this life. Kim sort of was, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, she created this whole billion-dollar empire by herself, because it turns out that Rob Kardashian, their father, didn't leave them an inheritance at all. He left them nothing. He may have set them up well for life, for example, by giving them business advice, but he did not leave them any money at all. When he died, all of his money went to his new wife. And a lot of people don't seem to know that, but that's the truth. And to be honest, worked in Kim's favor and her sister's favor as well, because look at them now, they're all extremely successful, and obviously Rob would be very proud of the life that they've made for themselves. Kylie Jenner, on the other hand, was born into this life. So was her sister Kendall Jenner, and they've been known to be mean girls for a very long time. They're very privileged. They act like they're not, but they really are. And the big argument when Kylie Jenner made her billions was obviously that she's not self-made. In her defense, she'd said, well, I earned all the money from the reality TV show and invested all that money into a business. But what she seems to forget is she's really only the face of the brand, like someone else we know, Jaclyn Hill. And that only got exposed very, very recently, that Morphe was the owner of Jaclyn Cosmetics and she was just the face of the brand. So yeah, it's no surprise that Kylie Jenner has been called out for being unprofessional by Deux Moi. Now let's investigate why Kylie Jenner may be unprofessional, because there's actually been quite a few hints right in front of our eyes that show just how unprofessional she is. Kylie and her mum were called out in the past for being rude to staff. Not just one time, this is like countless times. They were rude to them, they ignored them, and these were the people that were literally making their products. For some reason, they had eventually changed factories, so they've got a whole new team of employees now. But yeah, they were called out for being rude and ignoring them, and the employees were told by their managers to not even look at Kris and Kylie when they walked into the room. Now maybe Kylie learns her unprofessionalism from her mother Kris. Maybe Kris raised her to be this way, because we've got to remember that Kris and Kendall were extremely privileged. A hell of a lot more privileged than Kim, Khloe, and Kourtney were growing up. They didn't have to work for this reality TV show. They were literally born into it and even acted like brats on the TV show. Now, going back to what I was saying before about Kris Jenner being rude to employees, and maybe that's where Kylie's learned it from. Kris Jenner faced major backlash in April of 2022 from fans over this clip of her rudely yelling at staff.
Window rolled up?
Yes, but the trunk is open.
Close the trunk!
So, you're yelling at a f***ing guy that...
Close the trunk!
Fans responded, watching Kris Jenner yell at the driver to get out of the car and close the trunk just so that they can have a convo is really cringy. Like, you do know these people are paid to be discreet, right? Like, even if you don't trust them, show some respect. She's just so rude and so up herself. And we don't really see things like this from Kim, Khloe, and Kourtney. Maybe from Kourtney, because she doesn't really want to work. She doesn't really want to be there. She's said time and time again she doesn't like working, but Kim and Khloe are very hard workers, and they do tend to treat all their employees with a hell of a lot more respect than what Kylie does. And every single person that has worked with Kim that she hasn't screwed over has said how professional she is. So Kylie could actually learn a lot from Kim. But at the end of the day, this is what happens when you're super young and you make a heck ton of money and you're born into a very privileged life. Respect is not really something that you would learn. So yeah, Kylie Jenner doesn't have a lot of respect for her employees. We've seen this in the past, we've seen it presently, and then of course Deux Moi had recently exposed her for being the least professional out of her sisters. Are we really that surprised? So anyway, let me know your guys' thoughts on all this drama in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys at our next investigation.